All right. Good morning.
What an intro.
Did you like that or what?
That was awesome. Look at
Well,
that.
on my spare time, when I'm not trying to help people with insurance, I try and do podcasts. So
I love it. I love it. Oh
anyway,
man.
so
Well,
how's your week been?
it's good. Well, I want to welcome everyone to Community Connect. Again, thank you for joining us. What are we on? Week 3, episode 3. Welcome to Community Connect, where we bring you the network of experts on topics that you want to know about. So, past week was good. Got back from California/Oregon because I didn't know where the heck I was. And it was a long trip, but made it back and had a really good weekend. Actually ended up going to a tiki party Saturday night and danced for like 3 hours straight. My body does not take that well anymore. So it was.
What kind of dancing does one do at a tiki party, by the way? Is that like
Oh,
like hula or?
yeah, I mean, yes, but the band played, it was just like a cover band, so they just played everything from Journey to Taylor Swift, and we just had a great time. Spencer and I really enjoyed dancing, so it was fun.
Where in the world are you now?
It's a great question. I feel like that's your thing. Where in the world is Pash?
That's okay. I'll share it for now.
I appreciate it. Today I am in Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow.
So
business, pleasure, a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Not for business, but I am working down here, and we're visiting a couple of friends that live here, and they own a brewery, so it's not awful.
Is that the Indigo Reef or?
You got it. Yeah, Indigo Reef. So if anybody's ever in Charleston, South Carolina, definitely check out Indigo Reef. Some of the best beer in the state, definitely. Country, probably. World, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I like it a lot. So
awesome.
That's fun. But how are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. The week was very exciting. I have to say, this our goal here of sharing information with people is something that we kind of shared as an interest, something that we kind of done with our lives. And it's amazing now that we kind of just are attempting this, even though it's a non-professional audio, all this stuff is not professional, but I think because the genuine desire here is a good one. It's amazing what's starting to happen behind the scenes. I'm getting reached out to by people around the country that I've met through soccer. We're getting congratulated for really something that's really not well produced or anything, but more of the concept, and people are really giving us some positive feedback. And as exemplified by some of the people who are volunteering to come on the show early on in this endeavor, like our today's guest. But just an amazing thing. God is good. We are it's just been a great week. And I can go into that for hours probably, but we won't do that. But yeah, I'm excited. I was looking forward to today's show very much. I barely slept. I was like, okay, how do I take advantage of this guy that's about to come on? So before we introduce him, anything else update wise or?
No, let's introduce him.
All right, let's get into it. So today's guest is Oktay Kocaoglu, and I'm hoping I pronounced it right, but if I didn't, he can get me back and try and pronounce my last name. So bring it on, Oktay. He's currently a successful licensed realtor in New York, and he's going to talk about that aspect of his entrepreneurship today. But his personal story on its own could be one that we could do an entire episode about, just about how to approach life with what he calls a glass half full mentality. When he suddenly got laid off about 15 years ago from Xerox, his family is the center of everything he does, which is something that attracts a lot of us, who think of family as a priority. He's a trusted resource in the community and serves here in the Monroe County and beyond. He has been in real estate ever since that departure. He's now routinely highlighted as a top producing agent with his agency, Oak Real Estate at Keller Williams. And recently, he just achieved this cool title that we'll talk about later called, he's a home run hitter, apparently, and he can explain to us a little bit about what that meant back in January. So without further ado, let's welcome to the stage. And again, just like the Tonight Show. Ready? Here comes Oktay. And what's his last name? Ah.
Hey guys.
Hi, Oktay. What's going on, buddy?
It's actually not much. Thank you for the introduction. It was great. Last name's pronounced Kocaoglu, and it was actually Kodak, not Xerox.
You said Xerox. I thought it was Xerox. I read that on your bio.
No, I never said Xerox.
No, you said on your bio. I thought it said Xerox. I'm going to pull it up. Fine. I thought I did great research. So Kodak, you son of a, another company in Rochester that went defunct very at the same time. Sorry. I apologize for that. I did my homework.
You know, it's quite okay. It's quite okay. You had one of the big three, right?
I didn't get your name. So this is a great introduction. I got your name wrong. I said the wrong company that you did. So are you even in real estate? Did I get that right?
No, I'm really not in real estate. I'm actually a mechanic.
All right. This show is now over, folks.
Thanks for stopping by.
Gerwin is in charge from now on.
So Oktay, what was your role at Kodak then? What did you do at Kodak that then led you to this?
I was a mold maker. Basically, what we did was we build molds that made all the single-use cameras, and eventually since they were fading away, we started building molds for other things. But other countries were building molds cheaper, like China and Mexico, and eventually we weren't needed at Kodak anymore.
Oh, that is cool. All right. As Jim said, I could probably dig into that for a whole episode because that alone fascinates me. But so then it sounds like you because things were being made cheaper and maybe pushed offshore. I think I heard you were either let go or you left Kodak basically, and then what happened?
Yeah, I got laid off literally 1 month after my son was born and after my home was under contract. So we did what we had to do, begged, borrowed, and then whatever else we could do, cashed in our 401k, and we bought the house that we live in currently now, and sold that house, and took a little time off to figure out what I wanted to do, but I knew I did not want to work for anybody anymore. I didn't want to be laid off again. Too many kids to take care of, too many mouths to feed, and I did not want to go through that again. So it took a long while, and one night at maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, I took an aptitude test, and I got a phone call like the next day from somebody from Hunt Real Estate, and had a great conversation with her, and went in for an interview, and she's like, you'd be a good fit. And then I took the class, and fast forward 14 years, and here we are.
Interesting.
Awesome.
When you say, oh, sorry, I was just going to say, when you say class, you're talking about the realtor's like exam, basically, the class and the exam that goes with it.
Correct. I believe it was 75 hours worth of class that you got to take, and then you have to go through a couple different tests, do all those, and then you got to get a sponsor from one of the real estate companies here, and then you wait for your license from the state.
Got it.
So what exactly was it that drew you to that world when you're like, you know, why that realm? Since you had to start from basically scratch, something new, why that?
Yeah, you know, it was tough because I didn't know what to do, and I needed to find something that would pay me for how hard I work. I worked really hard for other people. Like I remember working 17 hours on Christmas Eve to get a job out at Kodak, and yet 5 months later, I still got laid off. So the way I saw it, if I could work that hard for somebody else, why not work that hard for myself and reap the benefits like somebody else is reaping the benefits all from me? I looked at several things, like including insurance, but decided that this is the best way to go for me, at least, and it worked out great. Almost every situation I deal with is a happy situation. I mean, how often do you hug your clients after you visit them? That's what I do almost every single day.
I understand that. Yep, definitely. In fact, they have to tell me to get off of them after about a 30-second hug. So I'm like, hey, okay.
Don't linger. Don't linger.
So as we delve into you, because I think it's important to know about you before we even talk about your services, because to me, it's all about people, right? When we're talking about connecting, this whole show about connecting folks, it's about people, and who you are as a person will a lot of times be the reason why someone does business with you, right? So what would you say is the secret? Because I consider you successful because while I was reading your bio, that did not say Xerox, it did say Kodak. While I read that bio, I did read other things that really caught my attention. So what would you say is the secret to that success for you?
I really think the biggest thing that anybody in any industry that's a service oriented is return phone calls, return messages. And I think a lot of people don't do that. I don't know what my secret is. I do that part of it for sure, but I genuinely care. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I talked out of buying a house or even talked them out of selling a house because I didn't think it was right for them. It's not just about that one sale, because that one sale should turn into multiple sales. I think the average person lives in a home for 7 years. So if you don't help them out the way they deserve to be helped out, well, they might not come back to you in 7 years or 8 years. It's actually caring and giving the people that is trying to move on to the next chapter of their life what they really want. Maybe helping them understand what they really want also.
Yeah. It sounds like you're building long-term relationships at the expense of a quick win, right? But in the long term, you really have a greater network of people, of clients, of friends, because you're not looking for that quick transaction.
100%. I got to tell you that probably 95, if not more, percent of my clients are my friends. They're all referrals. I hardly ever go in and compete for a listing or anything else. I take them out to coffee, sometimes go over their house with a 6-pack of beer or a bottle of wine, and we shoot the breeze for a little while, and we talk about what their next goal is. Not necessarily about selling their house, but what their goal is. And then we help decide. I help them figure out what they really want, what's most important for them. It's helping a friend out. When a friend asks you to help them move, you just get up and you help them move. That's what you do. And it's almost the same exact thing, but a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you did just recently get this recognition. By the way, your social media presence, I love what you represent there. It's very warming, and just you get out there and you just kind of tell a story. And I really enjoy it. But the thing that was just posted actually was by your wife, and it was about this recognition that you got through, not that I get this right, through Keller Williams, right?
That's correct.
Nice. Okay. All right. I'm 50, like not even 50%. Okay. So, but with that, you were recognized in January as a home run hitter. So do you want to talk about that a little bit? What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
And is that kind of an accolade something that, is important to you or not?
Not really. It basically means that you've listed a home, you sold a home, and you bought a home. It's really not that big of a meaning. I help somebody buy a home, I help somebody sell a home, and I put a home on the market. You hit all three.
All in the same month.
Yes, all in the same month.
Put a home on the. So wait, so I understand the first two, right? You as a realtor, right? You were a seller agent, right? Helped somebody sell their house. You listed it so that other people could find it and buy it. And then you were buyer's agent. So someone came to you and said, hey, we're looking for a house in this area. Our criteria is 3-bed, 2-bath. We want XYZ in the kitchen. And so you help and you find them that. You go off and you search and like, here's what matches your criteria. Let's go look at these. I think they're going to match. And you help somebody buy a house. But then I'm not sure I understood the last part. You said you listed a house. Are you talking personally?
No. That basically means there was a closing that happened on a listing that I had. There was a closing that happened on a buyer that I was working with.
Yeah.
And I put a new home active on the market.
Got it. Okay. So you actually either someone came to you and said, hey, we're thinking about selling our house. Worked with you through that process. What do you think? Is this a good time to sell? This is why we're selling. And you worked with them, made sure everything was correct. You created that relationship. And then you actually put the house on the MLS multiple listing service where basically all houses are shown or exist. And you actually put that up so people, other realtors can find it and eventually get that house sold that you actually listed it.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So then as we start to get into the helpful stage of the podcast here, you have a great story. Like I said, we could spend more time on that, a lot more time. But for the sake of the people who are coming to watch and learn about, and it's tough to quantify this as just real estate, but we'll just say it under that overall theme. What would you recommend? So we're going to talk about, because you help two folks, right? Buyers or sellers, correct?
Yep.
So do you think we should just separate these two discussions? Because I feel like I should ask you, like, what's your top 3 recommendations? If I'm a buyer, go. And then what's your top 3 recommendations of things to do if I'm a seller? Do you think we should separate that?
To a certain degree. And don't forget, usually your sellers end up being buyers too. So, unless they're moving out of the area, but even then they're still buyers somewhere else. You can separate them. It's probably a good thing to separate them because there's different levels of buyers. People are upgrading, downgrading, or people are first time in the market looking for a home.
So let's discuss in no particular order. Let's talk about if you are working with someone who's trying to sell their home.
Perfect.
Give us I don't know. I'm saying top 3, but maybe there's a top 10. But give us a list of priorities you would urge them to start taking care of.
First question is, where are you going? You want to sell your home. Where are you going to go? Are you leaving the area? Perfect. You already have something somewhere else? Perfect. We'll have no problem selling your home in today's market. If they're looking to buy another home here in Rochester, New York, or in the county, well, it's going to be hard because buying has been very difficult for a lot of people because there isn't a lot of inventory. So everybody's looking to buy. You have 10 offers, 15 offers almost on every single home if they're priced correctly. So we have to figure out what your plans are if we're putting your home on the market. Because if we price it correctly, you're going to have no problem selling that home. If we don't price it correctly, well, you're going to have some time. So we have to figure out what your end goal is, where you're trying to go after you sell.
So that you would say that's the first question then?
First question, where are you going? What is your plan?
So once they've got that response to you, then what would you say? Now, let's get ready to get your house, or where do you go from there? Let's go there. I don't want to leave it.
We walk around the house. We make an appointment to walk around the house. They show me everything they have, everything they're leaving, everything they're going to take with them. And then what I do is I go through, look at the house, go back home, do some homework on the house and the community and the neighborhood. And then if it's going on a market very soon, like the next day or the next week, we figure out what needs to be fixed, what needs to be cleaned up, or if it's just ready to go immediately. We figure out if they want staging, if they want, if it's going to be completely vacant, nothing in there. we have to figure out exactly what the home is going to look like when we are about to sell the home. And then we come up with a price by looking at the other homes in the area that have sold and are currently active on the market, so we know what our competition is. Then we come up with a number, and then they decide if my number is too high, too low, and they list it at whatever they want. And no matter what they listed at, I tried to reaffirm that, remember the numbers that I gave you around the community. And then sometimes we adjust if we're priced too high. And if we're priced too, you're never really priced too low, because somebody said a long while ago that water has a way of finding its own level. So if you price it too low, I guarantee you'll have 10 more offers and it will sell for what it's supposed to sell for. You'll probably see that in the market now. A lot of people are kind of underpricing homes, and they're getting a lot more traffic and a lot more offers well above asking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to clarify, I think, two things in there, or ask you about two things. So staging, for those that might not know exactly what that means, right? When you're talking about staging a house versus it being empty, can you explain the difference between those two and why one is more advantageous than the other?
Absolutely. So what I have some people that actually do the staging.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they come in, they look at the home, and they say, well, how would you like it staged? We can use your furniture that you already have, and you take my suggestions, you do it on your own. So there's cost levels for whatever you want to do. Or they bring their own furniture and they put whatever they want anywhere around the house to make it look more appealing. Let's face it, I know my home could use a ton of staging, but it just makes the home look more appealing, more attractive, and pretty sells.
Got it. Yeah. So the buyers that are coming through and viewing the home, it's easier for them to picture what the home could be or look like. And my assumption is that typically it actually sells not only probably faster, but for a higher price, because you can make it look just incredible.
Yeah, Greg, that's 100% correct.
Got
It
it.
usually does sell fast and usually does sell for more money.
Got it. Cool. And then I think I forgot my second question, because it was the staging that you were talking about, and then we were talking about the market. That's right. And you were talking about pricing, and ultimately it is the seller's decision of what they want to list it for. But what I have found, if I may, is that you have a realtor for a reason, and they are experts in the market where you are selling your home, and they have a lot of data. They have comps, right? Comparable houses that have sold recently. They know what's going on, and typically, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but typically it's going to be probably better and smarter to align pretty closely, if not exactly, with your realtor, because they've done this hundreds, if not thousands of times before, and understand the buying process, understand the market, where it's at, and what your house could and should sell for.
Yeah, that realtor should come to you and show you the market analysis of all the homes in, say, maybe a quarter-mile radius of that subject home, and show you why he's telling you it should be around this price. He'll go, this house on 123 ABC Street had the same features yours has, and it sold for $289,000. And they listed at $259,000. They should come with all this data, so you can actually not just take his word for it, but actually see it and understand what he's trying to explain to you. The comparative market analysis is a big part of coming up with a price. You don't just pull numbers out of the air.
Right.
It's not, how can I put this? It's something that should be done for every single home that's going on the market.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. Like it's such a missed opportunity if you don't have that analysis and really understand what your
Correct.
house is worth. So working with an expert like yourself when doing that, I think is so important.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if you pull a realtor in June, but you want to put your home on the market in March of next year, that analysis is going to change completely in that 8 months. You need to be close in time because the homes that sold in June will not be the same as the homes that sold in January. Usually go back 12 months. And you can see how the trend is going by looking at the data.
Sure. Yeah. One thing I wanted to dig into a little bit, which I know has been a hot topic over the past couple of years, and maybe evened out a little bit here, is interest rates. And so I wanted to see, they were super low for a while, and now they've gone up. And there hasn't been a whole bunch of reporting or updates, on that kind of nationally recently. And so I wanted to see what your what that looked like to you, where you see that going in 2024 here, and kind of helping our viewers in our network here, our community, understand, is this a good time to be selling, buying? What are the interest rates, for on both sides of that?
Absolutely. One of my lenders has a great phrase. He says, uh, "Date no, how do you put that? Date the rate, marry the house." So the
Uh,
rates are going to go down.
yeah.
Whether it's today, tomorrow, or in 3 years, they are going to go down. They always fluctuate, and we are on the higher end, and we have seen a trend for it going down. It was well over 7%, but it's dropped below 7% now.
Mm,
I know they're talking about holding steady at the next Fed meeting for it, but uh, they should be on a trend going down over the next couple of years.
mhm.
Uh, the cost is significant because I mean, what was it? It was below 3 at one point, wasn't it? And
Yeah, I
now
think so.
we're up over 7. Absolutely
Mhm.
crazy. But the bottom line is getting into a house is the key thing for you. Then you're going to have to kind of maybe either change your budget or change the type of home that you're looking at.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's something that you, this is a question, I guess I'm saying it like a statement, but that's something that you can help with. Is, if they come to you, you can help them work through, hey, what is your budget? What can you afford? And really make sure that they're not overspending or getting into a bad situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about location. Where do you want to be? I wanted to be in a certain school district, and that was my only goal. So I looked for any home that I could afford in that school district, and
Mhm.
that's what I did. So you got to figure out what you want to do. What's your main goal? What's your main purpose? Usually, if you're single, it's all about you. But if you have kids, it kind of changes.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I want my kid here. I want my kid to do this. I like the teachers here. That's where I grew up. You have goals for kids because, again, let's face it, since you've had kids, what have you done for yourself? It's always about the kids.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Location, location, location. That's what they always said.
Yeah.
So just to give the buyers an opportunity to hear something from you. And so now if we can switch gears now, I'm in the market. I'm looking for, I want to buy.
All right.
Start the conversation. What do I need to do? Where
Well,
would you start me?
first, we got to figure out what you can afford.
Okay.
So we got to go talk to a lender. We got to figure out if you can afford 100,000, 300,000, or a million. We got to figure out what your budget is. Even though he might come back to you and say you can afford $1 million house, I might not want to pay that kind of money for $1 million house. So
Mhm.
the monthly fees on those are pretty high. The mortgages are pretty high. So you figure out what is right for you. No matter what he tells you can afford, it's what you feel comfortable paying every single month. Because
Have
let's
you
face
ever
it,
found,
I'm sorry.
sorry to interrupt you. Have you ever found that someone comes to you and they think their budget's something that they themselves think I can afford blank, and then you help them with the lender aspect, and then they're like shocked by the result? Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah, in both directions, to be honest with you, Jim. It's gone both ways. People are going, well, I thought I could afford more, but they forget that it's always about debt to income ratio. What's coming in compared to what's going out. The greater that gap is in a positive, the more you can afford.
Makes sense.
So once we figure out what you can afford, then we start looking at homes. I start sending you emails every single day of homes that fit your criteria, where you want to live, how many bedrooms, how big of a home, how big of a yard. All these play into the factor of where you're going to be. But the thing is, the more filters you put in, the less homes you can look at.
Right.
So if you say, I just need a home anywhere in Monroe County, you're going to have about 300 emails on the first time that you actually get an email from me.
Right.
But if you have very specific needs, and that's another thing, we got to talk about needs and wants. I want an in-ground pool. I don't need an in-ground pool. You got to figure out what is really important for you. Do you really need a master bed and bath if it's just you? There's things you got to figure out what you need to have and what you want to have. There's some things that are you have to have. Like, I need a 2-car garage. I have 2 cars. I need a 2-car garage. I need a basement. Some homes don't have basements. You have to. I need a big yard. I need to have at least a half an acre because I like to garden. All these things play a factor into what you're looking for. Once we get all these, then I discussed with you that the market is tough right now. I mean, 5 years ago it wasn't like this, but today, right now, even though the sticker price says $1.99, you have to pay $2.75 for it, and you're like, I'm not doing that. So we go through a learning process where most of my buyers end up losing a couple homes because they don't understand quite the market yet. But eventually, once they figure out, okay, this is how it really is, even though the sticker price says this, I need to be here. So it's a little bit of a learning curve too. Rarely do people go out and put their first offer in and get a house. But last year it happened 3 different times.
Wow. So when you talk about them prioritizing their must-haves or whatever and being specific or more specific, adjust, changes things, what kind of person do you prefer to work with yourself as the realtor?
Man, that's a tough question. I enjoy them all. It's the personality that makes it really cool. I recently worked with a daughter whose father I used to work with at Kodak. He was my boss. She ended up buying a home. Something tragic happened where he passed, and now the mom is moving back to Rochester, and she bought a home. It just helping people in real life situations. Some are cheerful, some are sad, but you're still helping them the best you can.
Right.
And again, I end my appointment with a hug almost every single time. I'm a fortunate, lucky person.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Awesome.
No, I was just wondering if you, without being, joking or anything, and after that very serious comment there, but sometimes, because in my industry too, people come to me for help, but some people, their version of help is that they know the answers to things that they're asking me anyway. So it can get frustrating on my end at times when it comes to that. So on your end, if someone comes with this detailed list and it's extremely specific and now narrows the scope, do you find that to be helpful as far as what you're looking for them, or do you find that restrictive?
Jim, 10 years ago, it would have been perfect because 10 years ago, you can pick any home you want and be the only offer. Today, if you come down with all these sorts of needs, it's very, very difficult. It'll be a long time. I used to carry buyers for maybe a month, maybe 2 at most, but now I carry them for 6 months, 7 months because it's hard. I mean, even though they put their best foot forward, they're still competing against other people, and they're doing the same exact thing. They're removing contingencies. They're coming up with cash they take out of their 401k so they can pay for the house. So the competition is pretty rough for buyers right now.
Okay.
But my ideal buyer, cash buyer who doesn't care where he lives. How's that?
All right, I'll keep my eye out. All right. So then for me, as far as the technical side, obviously you are successful. You've been doing it for a while now. You know our area. You are, you're someone that people trust. You're not a new name. So let's talk about your website. I did search through the website and I saw quite a lot of stuff there. So, which kind of made me feel like either you have access to the different areas, like when you talk about the staging or the cleanup of the house, it sounds like you might have referrals or something like that. Discuss some of the extra services you offer your clients.
Absolutely. I offer professional photography, professional drones, staging. I supply moving boxes. If you need a contractor to come and do work on your house, I have guys, if they're available, that will come do it for you. Movers, I have certain movers that I recommend. You name it, I probably have somebody for it. Most everybody I give a name of is somebody that I've used personally or have used them numerous times. Most of the people I tell you that's going to come out and maybe repair your furnace for you, same guy that repaired my furnace. These are actual people that I've worked with for a long time.
And that you trust.
Absolutely. That's the key, man. I mean, I literally throw my keys at them and walk out the door, go, all right, fix it. Let me know when it's done. I don't haggle over prices. I don't. I just trust means a lot more to me than a couple bucks here and there saved in my pocket. The fact that I can give somebody a key and not worry about anything makes my life a whole lot easier.
And trust that it's going to be done right. I think that's the other big thing.
100%, Jim. 100%.
So, so I think of you, and what I think people should be looking for, if they're in other parts of the country or anything that they view this episode, is that you offer, to me, it seems like a one-stop shop. Like someone said, hey, I want to buy or I want to sell. And you're like, okay, I have the experience to help you through. Here's all the other peripheral needs you might have, and you have nothing to worry about. Throw me your keys, like how you just said about throw me your keys and I will take care of you.
That's exactly right. I'm talking, we start from getting you a lender if you're looking to buy, getting you your attorney, and anybody you need, I have somebody for. You literally have to sign paperwork and pay some money, unfortunately, for a house, but that's about all you really have to do. Everything else is done through me.
Nice.
If real estate was free, the job, all your now you wouldn't have a job. Any of these people wouldn't really have a job. We would just be all swapping houses all over the place. So,
absolutely.
So, as we're kind of coming to the wrap here, I do want to now go back to why I think people will find value in you, and probably anyone that would choose to do business with in any category, is because of your view on family. And you've mentioned it, your bio says it. And I know I read that part correctly, and I've seen you and I know you. I'm blessed to know you. And hopefully we're still friends after this, even though I can't say your last name and that I don't know where you worked. But other than that, how do you balance, you're a successful realtor now, and you have had young kids going through a lot of sports, a lot of requirements. You talked how you even probably chose your house based on school districts, right? You're a father, you're a husband, right? You care. How do you balance all the things that pull at you with your family?
I have a great network. I do go on vacations, but I have people who cover for me. And I let people know, hey, I'm going to be out of town from here to here. I'll be gone, but I have so-and-so helping me here. He'll be taking you out, showing you homes. He'll be there to show your home, whatever you need. And everything else pretty much runs on its own. I do most of my work over my phone. I've literally pulled over in my truck and wrote out a contract because it had to be due by 1 o'clock and it was 11:58, so it's not hard doing all my work on my phone. Now, balancing with the wife and kids, It can be tricky. It has been tricky, but I'll tell you, I have not missed an event of any one of my children. Um, I have missed events when they were both going on at the same time because we kind of got to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I still answer the phone when I'm at an event. I tell my kids, I'll be there, but I might be on my phone, and they understand. They understand that this is something that Dad does, and he's going to do for who knows for how long. But
Right.
but I have not missed an event, and people understand when I tell people like, "Hey, this is going on this weekend." They're like, "Sure, no problem. You're gonna be free Monday? Of course, I'll be free Monday. I'll be back Sunday night." So it doesn't really miss a lot. Most everything can wait a day or two, but it doesn't really have to because I have people who I trust, my network, would be more than happy to take you out and show you a home or show up at your house and help you list your house. Uh, the community's huge. The people I trust is tight.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome. That's awesome. And by the way, I feel as I've learned to now create some of that balance in my new career is like the kind of people you want to do business with yourself. You know, at the beginning when we started business, you're like, I'll take anybody. I need a business. I need to sell it. But as you move forward, I think you realize I don't want to work with everybody necessarily. Not everyone is the kind of person that I like. And I say that I believe if you told someone, I can't be at your house tonight because I have a family event, I will see you tomorrow. The person that you want to have as a client would understand that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I lost someone, and he's still a friend, but it was my birthday, and the kids were probably like, I'm going to say maybe 4 and 6. They wanted to take me out to a movie and buy me dinner. And Amy planned everything out. And I get a call like mid-afternoon, hey, we want to see this house tonight. I go, I can't. I already have plans. And they're like, if we don't see this home tonight, we're going to get a new buyer's agent. I'm like, all right, good luck to you. I don't know what to tell you. And they did. They got a new buyer's agent, and
Right.
That's fine. I don't really need somebody like that in my life. They're still friends, but I don't spend time with them because if that's how they are, then I don't want to really be around them. I don't treat people that way.
No.
Anything I can do to make somebody else's life easier without hurting myself, I'm all for it. And I know things happen in life, and you got to take a step back and look at it from a different view every now and then. But it's all about making everybody happy, as best you can. And most everybody's on board with that. And if they're not, they don't need to be in your life anyways.
I appreciate
Love that.
it. Well, I know your character. You're a loyal person. You're a hardworking person. And by the way, on the rugby pitch, I would never get in your way anyway. I'll stay in the box. And we won't go there. Don't go there. We're good. We'll stop right there. So, Greg, any last questions or comments for Oktay?
No, this has really been awesome. So we appreciate you being here. Before we go into Connect 4, though, can you say your name again so that people can not just so that Jim can pronounce it next time? Let's say it that way.
Well, by the way, time out. To be fair, how many times do we say each other's? I've known you for a couple of decades, right? How many times do we say each other's last names? 0.
I've said yours numerous times. You never said mine.
No. No, you call me other names that we will not go into on the air. Thank you so much. But go ahead. Pronounce your name.
All right. My name is pronounced Oktay. Oak as in tree, tie as in tie. My last name is Kocaoglu.
Kocaoglu. And what's your heritage? What's your where does that come from? Turkish. Cool.
That's awesome. Knew that.
Yeah, I bet.
He did know that.
Just like you knew he worked at Xerox, right? Is that?
Yeah.
I don't hear you guys anymore. Audio bad, losing you.
All right, well let's go into Connect 4 then here, Oktay. So, first question: what is your guilty pleasure TV show?
It's got to be Law and Order SVU. I love that show.
Okay.
My wife and I, we both sit back, we watch it almost religiously every single week.
Love it. All right.
All right. Oh, go ahead, Greg. Do number 3, Greg. I'm trying to find my list.
Oh, sure. So Oktay, what is your superpower? And by this, we mean this is just something that you naturally do better than anybody else. It's not like flying or invisibility. It's just like in life, what do you do better than you feel like you do better than most other people?
I react. I react really well to anybody that reaches out to me. I get a phone call, a text, an email. You get a response back. Even if I can't answer the phone, you get a response back saying, "Hey, I'm with another client. I'm on the other line." I react, and I think that is the number one with you guys in your industry and mine. They're similar. If you don't react to people reaching out to you,
Mhm.
you're missing out. And that is the number one problem. Realtors don't always answer phone calls. Insurance agents don't always answer phone calls. You answer phone calls, you're going to be busy.
Yep.
Communication is so important.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, they will spread the word about that too.
Yeah.
All right. So what book or podcast are you going through right now, Oktay?
You know, I don't really have time to listen or read a book all the way from cover to finish. But I catch snippets, and I really love listening to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan intrigues me. I love the conversations he has with people, whether I agree with them or not. They're great conversations. He's enlightening. He makes you see both sides of the issue. I like Joe Rogan.
Nice.
I agree. His podcast, like you said, whether you agree with him or not, he interacts with people that he knows has differing viewpoints than him, and he actually has real conversations, which I think we miss so much. So I love that.
It's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing I like about his show, when I've ever tuned into it, is I think they're just sitting around and they're just recording what they're just talking. It's not a show. It's just interesting stuff, and it's not about the production. It's just like they're talking. So
yeah,
I think that's what gave us the idea that, hey, maybe we can do this.
absolutely.
All right, and your final question. And this is in the guise of like self-improvement, right? So I know you're a perfect person. I know your wife thinks you're unbelievable, but is there a habit that you'd like to improve upon? So not necessarily a bad habit, but a habit that you'd like to improve.
You know, more time for myself. I should. I work out with my son, but I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to get out more. I need to walk more. These are the things that I stopped doing since I stopped being an active rugby player. Or it just your body deteriorates really fast when you don't do stuff. And I need to do more stuff. Walking. All I need to do is go out there and walk more, but just don't do it enough.
Yeah.
I think identifying it is the beginning, right? So you know it, and now you just make it a priority. You know?
Absolutely. If I can get up in the morning, do it 20 minutes, that's all I really need.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
okay. What if people want to reach out to you? They've heard something that they like. They're looking to buy, sell their house, or they just want to talk real estate. How do they get in touch with you? And what's your social media?
You know, my cell phone works great. You call me, I'll either answer or send you a message saying I'm kind of busy. The only time I don't answer my phone is when I'm with somebody else. Like right now, a couple texts, but I'm not responding to them right away because I'll wait till it's over. You can email me, text me. You can go on Facebook Messenger. You can go on WhatsApp. You can go on Instagram. You can go on LinkedIn. You should be able to find me somewhere out there, or just give me a text, shoot me a call. Be more than happy to talk to you, whether it's just to learn more about the industry, to learn more about the market, or if you want to buy or sell a home.
And all that information's on your website, Oak Realty.
It's all on there.
Perfect.
Yeah. And we'll gather all that information and share it on our posts as well. We really appreciate you as a friend. I hope we're still friends after this, but I mean, as a friend, I really do appreciate you coming here to showcase you. You know, you did us a favor. Hopefully, we're doing you a favor as well, and just getting the word out that people like you exist. and that you in particular will be glad to help.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for giving me part of your day.
No, you're the man. Thanks so
you.
much. So we're going to kick you off stage now and we're going to close the show. But thank you again, Oktay, for your time. All the best.
Be good, guys. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. That was awesome.
That was fantastic.
He's got a wealth of knowledge in that world. So
I'm gonna owe him like a couple of beers because like I can't say his name right, and I had him working at Xerox.
You were close. It's fine.
I studied that, man. I don't know how I wrote down Xerox instead of anyway. All right,
That's
so
fine. It's been a busy
we
week.
live and we
I get
learn.
it sometimes, but yeah, no, that was awesome. So everyone who tuned in or is watching this after the fact, thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you have an idea for the show or have knowledge to share, please reach out to us. And it would be a huge help, friends, family, anybody who's listening, huge help if you would like, share, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to see you on the next episode and beyond. So we really appreciate you all.
We appreciate the support. We appreciate the support and all the comments we've already gotten in the short period of time. So we're open for ideas, and we thank you so much. Have a great day. See you next week.